Hello, everyone. Dr. Nick Hilverma here with another edition of Things I Didn't Learn in Med School. Today, I want to talk about something that's probably more important to the greater landscape of healthcare than what I have been talking about in my previous videos. I have to be very careful about what I say and how I say it because of social media restrictions and what I'm allowed to say. With that being said, if you follow me or saw a post from me earlier this week, I did have a friend a high school colleague, friend of mine, who unfortunately lost her battle to postpartum depression. And it's been a pretty emotional week for myself and reconnecting with some of my high school colleagues because of the emotional turmoil that it's put on all of us, and it continues to put on people worldwide. I think when I posted my video, short reel, and Instagram, etc., I had a lot of encouraging messages from mothers who were brave enough to share their stories about postpartum depression and how it affected them. And it takes a pause for a male who hasn't seen that or been around that very much, but for all these courageous women to come up and say and explain their stories and tell everyone what a big deal this is, it was a little bit eye-opening for me. And I condemn everybody that's been involved on the other side that are trying to limit women's rights for healthcare or limit the access of SSRIs or take people off of SSRIs because of knowing how important of this issue is, not only for the people that are in postpartum depression, but people that have depression in general or other ideations that are not in sync with a healthy, happy life. And we know that this is not just a thought process issue. It's a big process. It's a big problem. It's a biological, it's a environmental, it's an inflammatory. There's multiple factors to it. It's not just a single thing. And I don't want to sit here and argue about what SSRIs do or other antidepressants do or don't do, or the disproving of the amino acid theory of how serotonin is a single structure that controls depression. We knew that way before that study came out. The problem is we don't necessarily know how these things work, but they do work for a significant amount of people. They may be overprescribed and they may be quickly to jump to, but that's kind of how the medical society is set to right now. But a lot of people do need these and they do benefit from it. I do want to tip my hat and compliment the individuals that did come out and either message me indirectly or were also brave to give their stories to everyone else and reshare their stories to help those individuals in need. I have a lot of thoughts about this because there have been an uptick of physicians losing their own battle to depression or other issues due to the increasing pressure of the medical society and medical industrial complex, administrative burden, financial stresses, increased loans, et cetera, et cetera. So it seems to be a topic that continues to be hovering around when it comes to crisis. And when crisis occurs, of course, we're tragically mourning the loss of an individual. But how many lives does that affect downstream and around in the surrounding area? We have friends, we have family members, we have kids, we have parents, we have cousins, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, teachers. We have a community of people that are affected in more ways than one when something like this happens. And it's easy for someone that's going through a good time to say, "Hey, I'm going through some really great things right now," and not take a moment to recognize the gratitude of what they have going on. But when someone is going through something very difficult, it kind of changes the perspective of what is going on and how that affects somebody. And at the end of the day, family members or friends or colleagues, they may feel ashamed of themselves because they feel like they could have done more. And honestly, that's how I feel now. I wish there's more I could have done or more I should have done. And this is not to say that we are all saviors of any sort, but you look at things in retrospect and think about, what were the signs, what were the symptoms, and did we miss them? Or maybe there weren't any signs or any symptoms, and there was nothing to be missed. And the person was just doing a really good job hiding it. The overall message I want to share today, and I know this one's going to be a little bit shorter, but the overall message I want to say is that if you or someone you know is going through some challenging times, first off, be a helpful person to them the best way you can. We see it in our practice all the time, people that have anxiety and depression due to their pain. So the first and foremost thing that I try to help them out with is their mental health and make sure that they're doing okay there. After that, giving them access to crisis hotlines and things like prevention hotlines and even programs that are developed for people that have been through attempts and such. I'm going to link to some of those below. And I believe this is going to get tagged as sensitive information just because of the nature of it. I'm hoping that they don't take it down because I didn't necessarily say anything that would flag that, but it may. And if it does, then I'll reshoot it. But also, I want to put a link down in there for donations to prevention. It's something very important, and I think it's important for us all to talk about and share widely, and make sure people realize that they are not broken, that there's just something wrong in that time of moment, and help can be found. And I think by donating to these kind of programs and associations, that we can better help people. And my goal would be is if I can help one person through this video, then I've done my job. I don't know why else I would have a social media platform unless it was having messages like this to really spread awareness and help people the best way possible. And I know my platform isn't very big. I know it's not a very wide reaching demographic, but if I can help one person, then I've done my job. Anyways, I encourage you to please like, share, and comment below. And I also encourage you to donate. Anything you can is going to make a big difference. Um, I have already dedicated $500 for the cause, and I'll probably continue to dedicate various amounts of money throughout the rest of the year or maybe lifelong. So, anyways, I'll talk to everyone soon. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.